Blessings, blessings, blessing. This is Will of M, and the end comes later. First off, I want to say this, man. Well, honestly, first off, thank you for spending time with me. But also, I want to say this. If this video, if I get to what I want to on this channel, this video will get remade. Right now, I had to make this video. I can't say my favorite character, but my favorite potential character, because he has so much potential. I love his character design, and I wish he had a bigger part in the series. I'm talking, of course, about Hayami Ryuichi, right? The dragon, the ascending dragon. One of my favorite fucking characters. He has one of my favorite fucking abilities, the shotgun. And I'm gonna tell you why. I love the shotgun in One Piece. The times I watch it, I fell off. I'm gonna get back on it. Don't ask me about the shit. It's a big reason. I love no Gatling gun. That shit was amazing to me. So when I saw the shotgun, I was already fucking hooked. I love also he's a big foil to Ricardo Martinez, like in a very big way. He's almost his exact opposite. He practiced the basics. Even though a lot of boxers in the series don't practice the basics, they rely heavily on the special moves, which I will say, when Ippo had the Kazuo fight, Kawasara fight, he ended up not relying on depth throw. He ended up relying on the basic punches and his jabs and not getting hurt. I appreciate it because the basics get you through everything, you know what I mean? Even Miguel Zell said, the reason that but Ricardo Martinez is so strong is because he practices the basics to the utmost level. Most boxers don't practice that. I get fucking beat up and forget how to use them. I have it on their special move. Like, you think about even when one of the best fights in the series, when fucking Vogue fought against Mike Elliott, he ended up using the White Fang repeatedly when he got fucking not unconscious, but pretty much went back to his instinct state. So the basics make you win everything because it pretty much solves the problems of boxing, but it's hard to use them in certain instances. And I see one of the big reasons, one of the first reasons that he's like Ricardo Martinez is because of this. He is very, very prideful and egotistical. Yeah, Ricardo Martinez, he seems humble, he's a nice guy, trains a lot, but he's bored. He's fucking bored just protecting the belt. He's bored of just being at the top of the world. He wants to fight someone who tastes his fancy. And I feel like Hayami Ryuichi is the same exact way. He even went so far to say one time, like, he will beat Ippo because he had a hard time with Kobayashi Kenta. Like, you had a hard time this weak guy? This small...
You guys like that? Like this guy?
Fry. And it shows. Even during his fight with Ippo, he tries to beat him at his own game, which is infighting. Although he's has some success early on, eventually he gets just fucking mollywopped. Beaten, dropped, boom. End of Hayami for a little bit. But I love what he says when he gets up. That just like Sugar Ray and Muhammad Ali, they started their legends of invincibility after they lost. They became the greatest after they took losses. And he feels he's going to do the same exact thing. Maybe believe him. Fun fact, he's actually based on Hector Camacho, which, if I'm being honest, I have a little hate for because he was the last fight of one of my favorite boxers, Sugar Leonard. My actual favorite boxer, Sugar Leonard. And he knocked him the fuck out on the ropes. I was heartbreaking seeing it. I hated that motherfucker, Hector Camacho, and I was so happy when he lost. I was so fucking happy. But next time I see Hayami, he's actually fighting against Kobayashi Kenta, the one he was talking so much shit and so much head about. And let me say this, Kenta beats him. Though the match is pretty close at first, Kenta has the same fire and desire in his eyes to defeat Hayami, as Hayami has to defeat him, because Hayami and Kobayashi Kenta were both inspired by the fist of life from Ippo, and they couldn't lose. They couldn't lose here. They had to defeat the other person. But in all actuality, Kenta had more heart and more durability, ended up knocking out Hayami. He cornered through in Italy, knew he wasn't the same after fighting Ippo. And a lot of boxers, after they get knocked out once, they never come back the same. It's like a mental thing. They may develop a glass jaw. Boom. Finally, we see Kobayashi Kenta again at a match, randomly talking to Ippo. And the reason he's there is because he's watching none other than Hayami Ryuichi. And while Ippo, during this time, he's a second. He goes in to watch other boxers, see him train. He's in a meetup with Hayami and talk about just life, how things have been. Hayami brings up, you think it's weird I never touched the belt no matter how good I was. And I want to point out, Hayami had a great amateur record. However, amateurs and pros are completely different, you know what I mean, fighting style wise. So maybe the shotgun worked back then because if you touch the white to white on the gear, you pretty much get a point. You might have won by a lot of points. You know, he had a good amount of knockouts. But in the pros, it's different, you know what I mean? Think about your star football player, and then he goes to the league and everyone is star football player. This Stuss got something like that in the league at one point. To show the league, if you remember that show from way long ago. Also, check out Girlfriends on Netflix if you haven't watched it yet. He says he's going to build his legend. He's going to become a legend. He hasn't given up yet on the goals he set out to achieve. And this moment I feel is one of the best moments of Hajime Ippo because it really encapsulates the spirit of the manga, of not giving up and believing in yourself. Even though things are tough, things are hard, you can get through it. That's what boxing is. A lot of times boxing comes down to just style matchups. You may be bad against this specific style, but the next one you whoop ass against. So, Hayami enters the match. Keep in mind, we're still going with the words of Chance the Rapper. Tonight you can blow, tomorrow you'll suck. And he goes against an opponent who, by the way, is not named in the manga. Like, he's not even a named person. And beginning wise, he's beating him. He's putting the brakes on him. He's stopping and popping. He's not turning and burning. He's putting the power on him, drops him, gets him hard. Like, he's beating this guy's ass. He's fucking him up. But his mindset, and in Ippo, a lot of times it comes down just to the mindset. It's said before Ippo loses to Ijidate, it came down to his mindset. He is thinking about impressing Ippo not so much as winning the fight, knowing he has such a bad chin. And throws his iconic shotgun. He starts off with that. First time we see him, he's doing his iconic shotgun, but he's doing the shotgun, hits it again, and actually the opponent lands one hit on him. Like a little counter, landed one hit on him. Drops him. He has a glass jaw. Gets dropped. Gets back up. Beaten to a motherfucking pulp. Oh, God. Hard to see, hard to watch. He actually loses to this unnamed opponent by knockout. He's not even ranked because his losses are so bad. Next time we see Hayami Yoichi, he's outside. He actually tells Takamura to shut up, which is look at the big balls on Brad. You know, the big brain on Brad. Yeah. He tells Takamura to shut up because he's making too much noise. He's hurt, injured from his actual bout. Another thing about the bout I want to throw in is that he was in a smaller room because he was an undercard. And around like the 700s, what is his name, man? What is his name? Itagaki mentions he's in a larger room because he's a main eventer. Undercards get the same type of room, less spaces to form up here. Back to the business. He tells Takamura to shut the fuck up, be quiet, think about coming back. And Ippo even asks him, "Are you good doing this?" He does. Ippo, are you okay being a loser? Like, I'm going to make my legend, no matter what. I'm going to succeed in my legend, get it high. I have to get it down to. Are you cool being who you are? Like, coming as a second? Are you serious about that? And he has like a little bit of a freak out. He sees a demon in Ippo, maybe just his head hurting from fucking concussion he probably has. But he turns back. Then Takamura grabs him, consoles him, calls him a legend, which I just love. Now, going forward into the future. Do I think Hayami can become a legend and champion? Fuck no, not at all. Psych, yes, he can. However, his style does not fit his body. The same as Miyata, where he's weak to damage, Hayami has the same issue. I think he relies too heavily on the shotgun, one, and two, his body can't handle the damage of it. Now, in the time skip, in the time that's been passed, and it was about 1 to 3 years, maybe 1 to 5, I want to say, he's got a faster shotgun. So that's not a bad move. However, the way he uses it is because it's easily counterable. Like, it's pretty much just straight punches. Almost like when Sendo sparred me out, it's just straight punches. You can know what's coming next. You can throw some variation in there. I think he takes 2 years off. He heals his body up, and then he gets a trainer. That trainer, Kobayashi Kenta. Kobayashi Kenta has an amazing style, which utilizes the clinches and the jab, but it messes up a punch rhythm, definitely. He usually wins by points. He messes a lot of punch rhythm up. He's actually based on Maxi Slapsy Rosenblum. He's inducted to the International Jewish Hall of Fame for sports. He was a middle to light heavyweight. He was born 1906. His record is 298 fights, 207 wins, 39 losses, and get this, a whopping 19 wins by knockout. Yes, you heard me right. Out of 207 fights, 19 wins. Must have been fighting school teachers. But his style is so defensive, relies so much on footwork. I believe that Hayami Richu would benefit from having this style. Because mind you, only time he lost his art by knockout that we've seen. But when Kobayashi Kenta lost, it was always because he decided to go against his style and use a different, go for the knockout essentially. So if he didn't go for knockout, decided to win on points, he'd won off an overall. He would have won no matter what. I feel like he would have beat Ippo basically if he lost, because low-key plot armor, but also because he changed his style up, which makes sense, but he would have won. He would beat Ippo definitely. I think this is where Hayami comes back and wins. The shotgun isn't a bad weapon. It's one of the best weapons in the series. It's renamed the Hitchhog for Tagaki, but I have a video about that, how he's still looking for his identity. But it's one of the best weapons in the series. And regular boxing overall, one punch might not land. Now, 15 punches is going to land, which takes us back to the Martinez-McCullum fight. We brings up how if one punch won't do it, you just smash open the clam. I really feel like Hayami and Ricardo Martinez are foils to each other. The difference is the training and the mindset. It's the only big difference between them. He could be at the same level. So if you think about it, he beat McCullum with the shotgun. So he might really be a son of Ricardo. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys on the next one. Be safe, yo. Finally, I just want to say this. I think the reason that I like Hayami so much, one, because his ability is it's not basic, but it's doable now practice. It's because I like his character design. I believe that he's a better foil to Ippo than Miyata is. And it may just come down to just the hair type. Like Miyata has black hair, Ippo has black hair. Ippo's just sticks up, his is straight. Hayami's is brown, it's curled almost like his condition, things like that. He's loved by women, he's arrogant. And I always compare all the mangas I read to Berserk, in which that the main character and main villain are two complete opposites. And I feel like Hayami's more opposite to Ippo than Miyata is. Like their styles technically are opposites. Like you come straight forward and someone countering, knowing how you fight. I believe that character design wise, Hayami is a better character design than Miyata was for being Ippo's arch rival.